Good day, everybody. Once again, we're back together. Right, so today we are looking at 2.3. So please, if you haven't subscribed, just make sure you're part of the family. Right, so let's get right into it. So we're supposed to simplify that. Okay, so we've got the cosine of 360 minus x. That's the sine of 180 minus x. That's 10 of 135. And this is all divided by a cosine squared of 180 plus x, the sine of 240. Right, now let's get right into it. So in this case, we're going to use our Cartesian plane, our cast diagram, and we always need to check in which quadrant that would be. Now let's start with the first one. Cos of 360 minus. So 360 minus, there's 360 minus. That's in the fourth quadrant. How is cos in the fourth quadrant? That is positive. So this will be the equivalent of cos of x. Right, sine of 180 minus x. So again, that's in the second quadrant. So there's 180. If I say minus, that falls in the second quadrant. Sine is positive in the second quadrant, so that will become the sine of x, positive sine x. Right, now I've got 10 of 135. This does look like a special angle. So if you think about it, I can write it as, right, because I'm given a specific value. This is 180 minus 45. If I say 180 minus 45, it definitely does give me 135, right? So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to solve it in the next point. Right, now I've got cos squared of 180 plus. So this is the same as simply saying, right, cos of 180 plus x. So 180 plus x, that's in the third quadrant. So cos is negative. So this will be negative the cosine of x, but remember it is squared, so we are going to square the entire thing, right? So this is multiplied by sine of 240. Now note in this case that's going to be the sine of, again, this is 180 plus 60, right? So if I say 180 plus 60, it definitely does give me 240. And I know that 60 is a special angle. Right, now ladies and gents, the next point here, I'm going to leave that as cos of x, that as sine x. Now 10 of 180 minus 45. Now please, I want you to note that's in the third that's in the second quadrant. How is 10 in the second quadrant? It is negative, right? It's over there. So 10 is negative, so this would be negative 10 of 45. Okay, and this is divided by, again, this is going to be cos squared of x. So that gives us cos squared of x. This is multiplied by, now the sine of 180 plus. So remember, this is in the third quadrant, so sine is negative there. So that would be negative the sine of 60. Now, ladies and gents, it's very important for you to know your special angles, right? I would say please just make sure that you know your triangles. By the way, you've got two ways in which to remember those special angles. You can either use your triangles, okay? So this would be 30 degrees. This would be 60 degrees, okay? What I always do, that's 1, 2, and square root of 3, okay? Right, so that's the first one. And the other triangle is the 90-degree triangle, or rather it's the isosceles triangle for 45 degrees. So that's 45, that's 45, and this is simply going to be 1, 1, and square root of 2. Right, so let's solve for this. I can see that the cosine here is going to cancel one of the cos's there, right? So what do I have? I've got sine, right? So 10 of 45, sine of x multiplied by negative 1045. So 1045, so there's 45 there. And what is 10? 10 is y over x, right? So that's 1 over 1. So that's going to be 1. All right? Divided by sine of 60. Okay, so that would be, remember we still have cos left there. Negative sine of 60. 60, that's going, sine by the way is opposite over hypotenuse, right? So that is opposite over my hypotenuse, in this case that's 2. So this is going to be root 3 over 2. So that's minus root 3 over 2. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to just remove these so that we've got a bit of space. Right, you could have also just used your calculator, but please, it's important for you, especially if you're going to be writing those NPTs. It's really, really important. So I see I've got negative sine x over negative, multiplied by 1, divided by cos of x, negative cos x, multiplied by root 3 over 2. And ladies and gents, needless to say, sine over cos will give me 10, right? But that's 10x, right, divided by root 3 over 2, or you can say this is going to be 2 over root of 3. Okay, that is really our final answer, because remember, what I can do here is that I can actually multiply by the inverse, that's 2 over root 3, right? But what I do at the bottom, I do at the top as well. That's 2 over root 3. So that cancels with that with that. So I've got 2 over 3 multiplied by the 10 of x. All right. You can also write it as 2 over root 3 10 of x. And that is how the cookie crumbles, right? So we will be looking at the next question on our next video. Please look out for it. For now, I'll see you guys next time. Sharp, sharp.